Hello everyone! For those of you just joining my channel, my name is Aria, and this is a topic that is very, very near and dear to my heart. I'm just going to jump straight into it, because I've actually tried to record this several times with very lengthy intros, and it just wasn't working, so there's a problem with every fandom. It is one singular problem that extends through pretty much every fandom that there is. If there's a fandom of something, then chances are this problem exists. Even if if there's a fandom of Heinz ketchup, there's this problem with it. Now, I'm not saying that I know that for a fact, but with every fandom, there exists one major problem, and that is simply a lack of acceptance of new ideas. My first sort of pass by with this, where I first learned about this problem, was in the Steven Universe fandom, specifically with fan art. There was a major issue where one girl drew, I forget whether it was one of the Steven Universe crew or whether it was just a person who drew one of the characters sort of very stylistically, not to the Steven Universe style. But a lot of the members of the Steven Universe fandom were so angered by that this person received so many hate comments, so much hate, that it forced, that I don't know if she actually did kill herself or whether she was thinking about it, but that was the first time I'd ever heard of something like this, and I will admit that I had never been really scared of being in the Steven Universe fandom. In fact, for those of you who've been here for a very long time, you do know that I actually did make Steven U videos a long time ago, which have now been deleted. The deletion was not because I was scared. The deletion was simply because I was a cringeworthy teenager when I made those videos, but nonetheless, it doesn't change the fact that when I was making those videos and when I learned of this, I actually learned of this via the Roundtable, which is a Steven Universe. Well, they don't just do Steven U theories, they do all sorts of cartoon. I think they even do gaming theory. I don't remember. I haven't seen their videos in a long time, but anyway, so I got kind of scared out of the Steven Universe fandom. I had sort of been pulled in by my friends, but they weren't as involved in the fandom as some people are, and so they didn't seem to be so scared, and therefore I wasn't so scared until I heard of that instance. And then it really pulled me out. And I didn't experience this issue. I heard about this in 2017, and I didn't really experience this until 2017? No, 2016. I was 17. Anyway, I didn't really hear much more of an issue like this. I thought it was just a Steven U fan thing, because Steven Universe is a very mental health style show, and so it tackles a lot of very sensitive issues, and it helps a lot of very sensitive people, and so I just kind of assumed that that was what was going on and that was what was happening. Not the case. Not the case at all. Because I think you all know I have told this story, but to sum it up very briefly, the person who introduced me to Transformers was very, very close-minded. I'm aware that I have an email phone, thank you. Anyway, she sort of just made me feel unwelcomed, because I had my own, like, completely out there ideas with the characters of Transformers Prime, and this person who introduced me to Transformers wasn't really having any of it, because she would only accept that they were canon and they were robots and that was it. Like, any softness in the character, she'd immediately jump and go, that's how their character, they wouldn't do that. And I'm just like, well, how do you know? It did scare me away from TFP for a while. How I got back into it is an entirely different story that's not necessary for this video, but the point is that I did sort of persevere, and I thought, okay, maybe it's just this one person. It wasn't just that one person. In fact, I discovered a YouTube channel. I will not say the name, but I'm sure with the video I'm going to mention, you will know this channel. This particular person in October of last year put out an entire video that it was meant to be educational, because his videos are, they are educational, but by the same token, he was discussing the differences between fanon and canon, and sort of throughout his video, he constantly says, well, in fanfiction this happens, and in fanfictions this happened, and I know for a fact that in a couple of my fanfictions I had done the exact same thing. I will admit I don't write that much like that anymore for TF. In fact, I don't almost write anything for TF anymore. I've got several stories on fanfiction.net that have yet to be finished. And I don't know that I will ever finish them. But when I found this person, it was that same sort of hit me moment compared to when I found the Steven Universe problem. And so I sort of pulled away from the TF fandom. In fact, I pulled away from YouTube quite a bit, which was very difficult because that same year, in December, I had dropped out of college to do YouTube, and at the time, my most requested content was Transformers. And so it was very difficult for me to put myself into a fandom that I was very scared of. I will admit it. Now, before anyone sees me calling this particular person out, no, I'm not trying to say that he is bad in any way, because he is here he makes his videos to educate people in the TF fandom about Transformers. He's done summaries of the very expensive Transformers lore books that aren't, for me, accessible at all because I'm visually impaired. He was actually responsible for providing me and many others a cover of the or not a cover, but a PDF of the Covenant of Primus. I'm not saying I'm going to put that in the description, but it is in one of his community posts on YouTube, and I think he also put it on Tumblr. But what I'm trying to get back to is, there's a difference between educating someone and making someone feel hurt and sad for the things that they choose to like within a fandom, and the things that they choose to write within a fandom. So I'm not accusing this person in the TF fandom of hurting anyone. I'm just saying that there are people that do, and the unfortunate part is that people who have different ideas about a fandom, with TF, fanon is almost accepted as canon. I mean, you hardly find any canon-style fanfiction for Transformers. In fact, I think the only person who does it is the same person that I mentioned on YouTube, who does canon fanfiction. In fact, I've thought of challenging myself to make a purely canon ASMR that doesn't mention anything from fanon for Transformers Prime, and I haven't done that yet, specifically because my life has gotten... The reason I've been away from YouTube is because my personal life has kind of taken a bit of a turn for the worse. And also maybe not for the worse, but definitely for the busier. And so it's been very hard to find time and also silence to record my videos. And so that's why there haven't been as many ASMRs. But going back to what I was saying, it's gotten to a point that where a lot of fan fiction that gets written that maybe is a different idea from the typical canon style of thinking when it comes to a fandom, it doesn't get read, it doesn't get noticed, it doesn't get recognized, and unfortunately, I absolutely hate to say this, but this problem has finally reached the Baldi's Basics fandom. Namely that last part of people not getting recognition for their work, because my partner has written a beautiful story on Wattpad for Baldi's Basics. It's called Regrets, and it has gotten absolutely no views. My partner and I, we both have stories for Baldi's Basics on fanfiction.net. Mine is called Here Is Our Home, and it's a story basically about someone getting brought into Here School, and that's a story I actually don't really intend to finish because I actually have to rewrite it because I wrote it when I was very early into the Baldi's Basics fandom, and I actually forgot who is now one of my favorite characters. So I forgot three characters. No, did I? No, I forgot two characters. My fanfiction has 2 follows and 2 favorites. Actually, I think it might have more now. I know one of them for a fact is my partner, but the other one is, I don't know who they might be. Someone new, someone who likes the fanfiction. I've gotten reviews on it. It's pretty nice. It's pretty popular. My partner's fanfiction, which explores an entirely different idea for Baldi's Basics, it is rated M. I warn you, it's called Coding and Corruption. It is one of probably the best Baldi's Basics fanfictions. I'm not just saying that because she's my partner. It is really good. It has garnered no popularity on fanfiction.net either, and its summary is very, very, very catching, but people in that fandom look away from it. It only has 1 follow and 1 favorite, and that 1 follow and favorite is my own, because it's my partner's fanfiction. Of course I'm gonna follow it and see how it is and what it is, and it's really sad when I look at my partner who's been in the Baldi's Basics fandom way longer and who has, big different ideas about Baldi. And the thing about this particular fanfiction is that this particular fanfiction actually is a widely accepted idea for Baldi, sort of a possessive partner type of Baldi. But my partner actually has a universe where Baldi is really, really nice and caring and gentle that she only just recently shared a wiki entry about on the Baldi's Basics Amino, and I have mentioned a few times here on my own channel. And I can see why my partner is afraid to put herself out there, because even in an innocent fandom like the Baldi's Basics fandom, there are people who are going to say that ideas are wrong, and who are going to say that ideas are invalid, and it's scary to put oneself into a fandom because you do not know what people could say about it. I thankfully have gotten no criticism about my Baldi's Basics content, and the sad part is that my partner hasn't gotten any criticism because my partner's work hasn't been recognized, it just breaks my heart for the reason I mentioned earlier, that she's been in the fandom longer than I have. And, this stuff, it doesn't just apply to fandoms, it applies to the real world. It really does. And it's hard to be in a fandom or a place where you're afraid. It's hard to put yourself out there when you're afraid because you know that other people are going to get upset with you for your ideas. And the device I'm recording on, his battery is low. Hold on. There we go. Alright. Anyway, It's very hard to be in a place where you're afraid, not just in a fandom, but anywhere. When I had the one job I've had in my life, I left that job very, very soon after I got into it because my boss was honestly just one of those people, like, it was a customer service job, and I was basically gonna be a salesperson. I was gonna be a telemarketer. And there was a very, very, very specific way that my boss wanted me to say things, and I was just like having a Skype message apparently. But I was just like, I can't do this. So I left. And I know that we're all afraid to pursue things that we're scared of. Fandoms, jobs, any pursuit in life, we're all afraid to be honest with ourselves, pursue what we want to do, be our own people. But I think also, too, is that other people do make it scary for people like us who are afraid. I know they always tell people like us, hey, don't be afraid because, you know, things could be worse and you gotta push yourself out of your comfort zones. And while that is absolutely true, and I do believe that now, I also do believe that those who are presenting a new idea or a new fandom, or who are already part of a new job or fandom or anything for a new person, don't single them out or make them afraid or make them feel like they're stupid or don't know anything or anything like that. Be there for them. You know, as fandoms, specifically getting back to fandoms, we are meant to unite people. People in a fandom are meant to be a united party, not 2, 3, 4, 7 parties at war. You know, that's not what we should be. As fandoms, we should encourage new people that like the same things as we like, and allow them to be proud of that interest because it'll help them grow, and if we do that, then it will help us grow as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found some sort of light in this video. If you have any comments or anything about what I said, or if you have any feelings regarding what I said, you can always leave them down in the comments below. I'm sorry that sort of the audio quality changed. I got interrupted, and when I came back, the air conditioner is now on because it's hot in my room. Anyway, if speaking your truth is someone else's deception, then may you always be gladly guilty, and please remember to program yourselves to desire your own image. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you all soon. Bye, everyone.